Let's see, there were some questions way in back. Let's go way back there. The guy in the 56 shirt. No. Oh, okay.
So I wondered if you could, do you attribute the difference in your original numbers of 70,000 down to the lower numbers, even though I assume rate of flow at the cutoff? Is that due to the higher resolution videos that you now work?
Yeah, so the initial measurements that I made were based on 30 seconds of what I'd say probably only at a bar, crap video. You know, that's what BP posted, and that's what they expected to, that's all they expected to post, was this little video that shows what the flow looks like. And they didn't tell us a whole lot of information. So I saw a couple of days after I and these other independent scientists made our calculations, I saw a little line at the bottom of a BP press release that said, calculations made by third-party scientists of the volume of oil emitted are incorrect for the following reasons. And then they listed a bunch of reasons. And the reasons that they listed were pieces of information that they had withheld from the public, like the gas-to-oil ratio. And what else? Oh, they said that there was a drill pipe sticking out of the riser pipe, which is true, but they didn't tell anybody about that. So in any case, my number of 70,000 needs to be corrected by this gas-to-oil ratio. And if you do that, you end up with something like 30,000. And the absolute number really isn't the important thing. The important thing is the direct contradiction to the statement of what BP said the flow rate was, and you know the fact that even 30,000 is 6 times the 5,000 number. So, you know, the importance is that that the flow is not 5,000; it's not even close to 5,000. Question back there.
They have a better chance of fixing the leak. Have they acknowledged or have they come to the issue?
So the question is, would they have had a better shot at fixing the leak? I think so. I mean, you know, that's a tough question, but like say the top kill, for instance. So BP made, you know, told us some facts that maybe weren't released to the general public. And for instance, they told us that if the flow rate was above 10,000 barrels per day, that the top kill was unlikely to work. And you know, we hadn't come out with our press release yet, but we were looking at numbers, you know, above 25. So, you know, everybody in the flow rate technical group figured this wasn't going to work. So I think, you know, the decision could have been made not to do the top kill. And so that begs the question. First off, I think BP must have had some idea what the flow rate is. Right? They've got more money than most countries, and you know, like some hobbyists like me, I'm not going to come up with some news that's surprising to them. So I think that they must have had an idea what the flow rate is. I don't know that, but you know, all of these petroleum engineers have seen what a blowout looks like. You know, what a 5,000 barrel a day blowout looks like, and you know, that wasn't it. So then, you know, then you ask, well, why would they do it if they knew that it wasn't 5,000 barrels a day? So I'll let you figure out your own answers to that question. Other questions? Yeah, right up here in front.
I've heard the ocean floor in that area is actually rising.
Oh, yeah.
This may be a case of gas hydrates being able to be released by the fractured conditions near the surface.
Yeah, so the question is, or the comment is...
Well, it's more of a comment.
Yeah.
It could really blow.
Yeah, well, we need to get a geologist to look at that. Yeah. Let's see. The question was, is the seafloor rising in that area? And maybe due to some water penetration into the reservoir that would cause the, you know, essentially ice to form and the seafloor to rise. Yeah?
Do we have an idea of how much oil is getting into the water now that the cap is on? And it has these depths. So actually, when I look at it, it looks like it's coming out faster. Maybe the pressure was changed.
Yeah. Yeah, so the question is, what's the flow rate out of this thing now that the cap's on it? And so I think there's a couple of important facts that I could tell you about that cap. So the cap is sitting on top of the blowout preventer, and the oil is shooting up into the cap and then up a riser to a ship. Now, with the vents open, there's negligible back pressure being put on that oil flow. Okay, so what that means is the oil is coming out at the same speed today as it was when we made the measurements based on video that was shot on June 3rd. So, maybe recognizing it's getting a little slower as time goes on, but with the 2.5 years that we just worked out here, maybe it's not slowing that much. So basically, the flow is the same as when we measured it, 35 to 60K barrels a day. We know that BP is collecting 15 or whatever. The collection goes up and down depending on the day. The idea was they put this cap on, they clamp it down, and then they start to close the vents. Well, when they installed this cap, it's sitting kind of crooked on the blowout preventer, and so it's not getting a good seal, which means if they stop down those vents that they talked about, they made a big deal about a plan to close the vents and produce a lot more from this well than they are right now. If they stop down the vents, the flow is just going to come out the bottom. So now there's a plan to build a new cap. They're going to pull the old cap off, put the new cap on, and hopefully that will capture that, and then they'll be able to do the thing about dialing down the vents. Any other further questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a post on the website, the oil drum, talking about damage to the pipes that are going, that are in the seabed.
Yeah, the well casing.
Yeah. Have you seen that post?
I haven't seen that post, but and I haven't seen anything official in the media, but I've been talking to lots of people. I've been involved in deliberations in which, I've been told information about this thing, and there is a lot of concern that the well casing was damaged in the blowout, or even before it. I mean, there was some conjecture that the cement job was when they had the 3 contractors before Congress, they all pointed the finger at the other guy. So there's some conjecture that that oil, that casing is in bad shape, and so they want to treat it gingerly, because if that casing blows out, the oil will go into the seabed, and then it'll come out all over the place. So that's sort of a worst case scenario. Okay. Yeah, one more? Last question?
So I'm just wondering if your group actually did an estimate in case, I've heard of this scenario, like a blow-up preventer stack failure, where the VOP stack splits and the casing starts coming out of the well. Did you guys do a number-bound estimate of what the volume could increase to?
No, that's so the question is, what if there's a catastrophic failure of the blowout preventer? Which could happen if the blowout preventer, let's say, just got blasted off of the well casing, or if the casing fails just below the blowout preventer, this thing could just fall off the top of the well. So we didn't do a worst case. We were basically looking at the video, but BP has to file plans with MMS for their response plan to the worst case senorio.
Anyone says they haven't yet?
They haven't. All right. Well, maybe they'll get around to that soon. All right. So we'll conclude for now, and thank you for your attention.
I figured it was time for Dr. Worley to have a beer.
Definitely.